Let me show you how to make the fortune you have always dreamed about.
Check this out.
I'll show you how to make all kind of money.
Yeah, boy!
Will make you financially independent.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Here's a secret for you to make millions.
Oh man, my phone's going off, Adley.
Oh, is it time?
Yep, it's telling me that Chino
Time for the Chino Bros.
Dude, I love that intro.
I love it too, and I just wonder. I'm like, Tong Vu, did he? Those girls just wanted to hang out with him because he's rich. He didn't pay him or nothing, which is crazy. But he had a boat, though.
No,
so
he definitely paid them, right? Don't you think? Like, do you think it was just like a modeling agency? I don't know, though, bro. It was the 80s. So, and I know I go to this all the time, but I really think cocaine had a lot more influence on the 1980s than we give it credit for.
There's a lot of cocaine around, I'm sure, in the 80s. And I'm thinking that girls like boats and being in the water and, and sipping champagne. I think guys do too.
Cocaine? Do you think Tom Vu had any Coco Loco, Booger Sugar?
I don't know. I mean, dude, for me, he was a positive influence being another Asian dude
on
that
television.
Was successful on television.
He's the only Asian on television not doing kung fu.
Just making money. So I don't want to tarnish his image. If that's true, I don't even want to know, man. Because Tong Vu, man, love Tong Vu. Did you ever go to a seminar?
No, dude. I never went to that man's seminar. I didn't have enough cocaine. You had to have cocaine to get in the door. Just kidding.
Oh man, I would have went. Looking back, I wish I did. You think he's still alive?
I don't know, but how many slang terms are there for cocaine? Because I always try to come up with something new, and I'm like,
Yayo.
I got booger sugar. Yayo, yeah. That's about
booger
it, right?
Sugar. Nose candy.
Nose candy, yeah.
What was the thing? I just I don't like
cocaine.
I just like the way it smells. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, here's the thing. And for me, I never did cocaine. And the reason this is a really weird way to start a podcast, huh? I never did cocaine because people did crack. And so I was afraid that if I ever did cocaine, I was going to start doing crack. And so I was like, I'm never doing cocaine. Are you kidding me?
I watched a show where they were doing it, and the girl, like she froze and went into convulsions. And had a stroke. That freaked me out enough to be like, dude, oh, that's not, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, this fool.
There's a basketball player when I was in high school, and his heart exploded after doing cocaine.
I remember that.
Yeah,
because was a college dude or a high school dude?
I don't know. I don't remember if he was pro or he was in college, but I know that everybody was like, see, that's what happens if you do cocaine when I was a kid.
Remember when energy drinks came out, like Monsters and stuff? It was like, dude, and people would be like, I'm going to drink 4. And then you'd see that one dude in the video, his heart was pumping because he drank like 30 of them. And you're like, dude. And then my 11-year-old's like, Dad, can we get a Monster? And I'm like, nope, nah. We do energy drinks though, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I still do sometimes. Dude, I have nootropics at my shop. I have this nootropic called Limitless. And when you take this stuff, bro, you're 10 times smarter than you already are.
Really?
Yeah, and you don't worry about anything. You just get all your stuff done.
And it's all herbal?
Hyper productive. Probably not. It's probably got crystal meth or something, and I don't know. Somebody sent it to me. I was like, man, I could sell this. I'll take it too.
Try it out too. You gotta test the product. Shout out to Ernie.
Yeah, dude. So
Downtown Wigs.
Downtown Wigs.
Gotta test the product.
So yeah, one way or another, I honestly think that the 1980s had a lot of cocaine influence. Don't you think?
Yeah. If you want to ride, don't ride the rat. Don't ride the white horse.
I feel like cocaine in the 1980s. Yeah, it had to be. I feel like cocaine in the 1980s was like, dude, it was like the currency of choice over gold.
Yeah, it was definitely around. I mean, because I graduated in '89, so I was in high school in the '80s, and it was floating around the high school.
Wasn't
for
I don't think it was around my high school that I know of, but I never seen anybody do cocaine like at a party or anything, except for when I was older, like when I was a grown up, I seen it, but I never seen it like in high school or nothing.
Yeah, I knew kids that would talk about it and stuff. And Orange County, kind of like we weren't rich, but well-to-do, I would say. It was that kind of neighborhood. You know what I mean? Pretty good. So that's probably maybe why, because it was more expensive, right? Cocaine.
I have no idea, dude. But what I do know is when you see grown-ups after they did cocaine get into like their 60s, you're like, man, you look horrible. I know you did cocaine. I don't care what you say, Farrah Fawcett. I know you did cocaine.
Woo.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Tom Wopat, you look horrible. I know you did cocaine. Jean-Claude Van Damme, dude, that dude looks horrible.
Did he do a lot of blow?
Oh, he did a ton of cocaine.
Really?
Yeah, man. Jean-Claude Van Damme was a cocaine man, dude.
Huh.
Yeah. That's why he looks so old now. Haven't you?
Yeah, drugs don't age well.
Drugs are bad, dude. They age you horribly.
Yeah. The occasional beer is okay, right? That's fine. Having a beer too.
Yeah, I think ganja and beer, because like ganja, it's like, dude, look at Willie Nelson. That guy's still sharp as a whip. He's 900 years old.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true. Then look at Hunter Biden.
Yeah,
23.
He looks horrible.
About 20, 23, 24. How old is he?
I don't know, dude, but he looks horrible. And dude, that crack cocaine makes you make horrible decisions too. Wait, didn't you want to talk about Jazz McKay to open us up? Because we're just sitting here talking about
just to recap,
cocaine.
last week we kind of went out of our norm. I'll say that as far as guests go, because it's usually DJs, music people, label people, radio industry people and stuff. But then I was like, you know what? There's this guy around town here in Bakersfield, Jazz McKay. He hasn't worked in radio, but he has a long history of working in radio. I mean, over 40, 50 years. So we brought him on, and you don't know what you can say or not say until it's been said sometimes.
His radio and stories were interesting though, weren't they?
Yeah, he worked for what?
He worked with Rick Dees, dude.
Yeah, Rick Dees. And I'm pretty sure Rick Dees came to our high school for the prom and went on stage and like did a hey everybody, thanks for coming out, Rick Dees. You know, this is back in the 80s. And I'm pretty sure, but he wasn't cool. He wasn't cool to me. I was more of a K-Rock kind of kid. So I was like, Kiss FM. That's all the bubblegum stuff. But he was funny. He did do Disco Duck.
I mean, I would like to work for Rick Dees. And I didn't necessarily listen to that. I listened to his morning show. I thought he had a great morning show, that Rick Dees. And his weekly top 40 was phenomenal.
Wow, he put a lot of production out. Yeah. Okay.
For the 1980s, dude, the amount of production that man had on every show. Like, bro, everything was analog. Could you imagine how many reel-to-reels Rick Dees probably had going all at
hours of production? Hours of post edit, just working on stuff, putting stuff together, and just dude, you did a lot of production for the station. You do video production now,
brutal,
but it just takes time. When the finished product is 3 minutes, I know, most people don't realize that hours to making 3 minutes.
4 hours for 3 minutes.
Yeah. So,
but anyways, dude, I'm telling you, man, Jazz McKay, you're correct. He did say some wild stuff. I'm not mad at Jazz McKay for saying some wild stuff, but he did say some wild stuff. And he did have an illustrious radio career, though.
Yeah, it was really impressive. I talked to Danny P after, I work with Danny P at Groove, and he was like, did he tell you about Miami and hanging out with DJ Laz? And I was like, Mover la Colita, DJ Laz? Or whatever. And he's like, yeah, DJ Laz, they worked together at the hip hop rhythmic station in Miami. And I'm all, dude. He was telling us that.
He was telling us that he worked at the rhythmic station, but he was doing it in this manner. He's like, how could I be a racist if I worked at the rhythmic station? I'm like, don't say that. Don't say that, Jazz McKay. Let me tell you something, Adley. I don't know if you know this or not, but here's the truth. White people should never start a sentence with this. How could I be a racist if? Don't even say the sentence, man. Just don't say it. Because am I lying though? Because as soon as you say the words, how could I be a racist? Whoever you're talking to, who's clearly not a Caucasian, also is thinking, yeah, man, you just proved you are a racist.
Yeah, or you got to think about it.
Do you agree with me? You can't say
I get where you're going. I think, yes, but they might not realize they're racist. Maybe when they say that, they're like, oh, I'm trying to be cool, but hey, man, I'm not trying to be racist, but mayonnaise is spicy.
Well, listen,
or whatever.
I don't know what that means, but what I do know is this. It's like I'm like Jazz, dude. If people called you a racist, don't start a sentence with "How could I be a racist if?" Don't say that. Do not say those words. Hold on. We got a white person on this week, too. We don't just have one white person a year. We got another white person. We're about to bring him on right now. It's our homeboy, Andrew Boydston. He's going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you. Oh, hold on. Give me a sec, Boydston.
Oh,
Hold on.
wait. Take him off.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold on, boys. Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared. Here we go. It's our homeboy, Andrew Boydston. Bring him on right now. Like I said, folks, we don't.
Nice.
It's a real long intro, Andrew. So
There's a lot of people in the studio.
Exactly.
God damn. Yeah.
Sold out
I know.
again. Chino Brothers is
They seen
sold
your
out.
show. They seen your comedy.
It's
Andrew,
way different.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, you could steal this for a bit if it's not already a bit that somebody already uses. Tell me if I'm wrong. If a white person says, how can I be racist? If as soon as they say that beginning of the sentence, whatever's coming next is not going to help them. Do you agree with me on this?
I do, and I also agree it's like akin to whenever someone says, hey man, I got a good bit for you at the bar, you know, like after you just crushed a whole room
Hope that's not what I did.
into like nothing but a pancake and you had a fun time and you're like, hey, you know, I've only been day drinking since like 9 a.m. I gotta get one for you.
Well, I hope I didn't just do that. I'm just saying, like, I feel like somebody must have already noticed that this is a thing, right? Like, because as soon as a white person, well, if especially like a Jazz McKay white person, I love Jazz McKay, God bless him, but you know, like, has a red hat that says "Make America Great," things like that, right? Like, that doesn't make you a bad person. You just have a fashion choice. However, a person wearing that hat most likely should not say the sentence, how could I be racist if, like, don't say that sentence, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like, dude, I'm from a very small town. Like, you should never ever try to preface it that way, you know? But that's the whole thing. Usually it's coming out of a drunk mouth and then you just can't tell, you know? And then you just don't want to look at that person and be like, well, I gotta guess, gotta make a judgment call. Are they actually racist? Or no one's thinking about that by that.
I hate
point.
that, dude. I don't ever want to think that about somebody. I don't want to think somebody's racist. This is the worst. When you're like one of your homeboys tells you, hey, that dude's a bigot. And you're like, oh, come on, man. You know, he probably isn't. And then he openly says something racist and you've already vouched for this dude. You look like such an ass. You know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about on this?
I think so. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
And but there was also like a portion of my life where I thought Adlai was like
Oh, he's slipping.
Oh man, Boydston, your
can you hear me?
Your cricket's going out, bro. There you go. There was a moment that you thought Adlai what?
Oh no. There was a portion of my life where I thought Adlai was Hawaiian.
How dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
When we were young, Adlai looked like Keanu Reeves. Like, Adlai was like a spitting image of Keanu Reeves. And so, like, we were a club act, you know, but we were also friends and we'd also been in a DJ crew. But at this stage of our lives, we were a club act. Who do you think got the girls, bro? It definitely wasn't going bald, almost looking like Bruce Willis Asian guy. It was definitely the guy who looked like Keanu Reeves. Like, Adlai, like when we were young, dude, Adlai, like all the women like this dude.
Mind you, this is 25, 30 years ago. So
first off, why are you citing Bruce Willis in front of someone who looks more Bruce Willis than both of you?
Oh, dude, why do you think I wear a hat, bro? Come on.
What? I don't wear a hat. I'm bald, man. Whatever. This is like, okay. Hey, first off, is it funny? Is it funnier?
Yeah, it kind of is, huh? I think it works.
See, that's fucked up to me. Like,
so
this is what I go through. This is
all
what.
Right, boys. So is everything and for everybody who doesn't understand, because we just broke in a conversation, but we already. What's up, Joe?
Joseph.
Okay, so Boydston had met with us on Tuesday for the sound check, which normally doesn't happen. So we already got to know each other. So when he came in, it was like, oh, there's the homie. Let's just talk. So let me give you some backstory, folks. Andrew Boydston here is a comedian. by trade, and so we're very interested in comedians. He knows our friend Ernesto, and so we're really excited to have him on the show. You know, we're going to ask him all kinds of questions about comedy, whatnot. So if you're just wondering what this random person is doing here, no, he's not a random person. He may not be a DJ, but he is a funny comedian. All right. So
yeah, I don't have a like his closet has all these sneakers and it looks like it's in a fucking like Busta Rhymes video back in the 90s. And then
language, Boydston. Come on, we're trying to
I'm sorry. But mine has like a Boba Fett sweatshirt and a Ducks jersey, and then a lot.
Yours
of
looks like
flannel.
a 19-year-old dorm room.
Yeah,
and you're away from
absolutely.
your parents for the first time.
That's
is
on
what
brand.
It
that
does
looks like.
definitely look like that, doesn't
Like,
it?
That's,
Dude,
that's on.
and he's a
brand.
Ducks fan. Is that a good thing, Mike?
I don't think that's a bad thing. The thing I feel bad for the Ducks fans is this: when the Ducks won the Cup, it wasn't really a big deal to the city of Anaheim. Like it was just kind of like, okay, well, I guess we got some sort of neat trophy. You know what I mean? When the Penguins won the Cup, the whole city was on fire. Like when the Pens won the Cup, it was just like, oh my God, Sidney Crosby, the second coming. And we beat Detroit, and it was like it was a repeat game. Like it was like a movie thing. But when you guys won the Cup, it was like, I'll be willing to bet half the people in Anaheim, if you're like, hey man, did you know the Ducks won the Cup last night? They'd be like, is that some sort of slang for drugs? What do you guys think?
I think people are like, oh, that's cool. Well, we're going to brunch over at South Coast Plaza. So, I mean, you know, it's Anaheim, Orange County. Yeah, it just wouldn't be a big deal. I can't see it. But there are Ducks fans, maybe because of the movie. What came first, the movie or the Ducks?
Boydston, explain it to us. You're a Ducks fan.
I think he's gonna throw up.
Oh, you want me to show you how much of a Ducks fan I am?
Oh,
if it's the Oregon Ducks, I'm gonna feel stupid. Wouldn't that be funny if he's like, no, I went to Oregon State. It's the Oregon Ducks.
Oh, that is it. Yeah, that is it.
You want
Oh, my
me to
goodness.
show you how much
Whoa.
of an Anaheim Ducks fan I am?
Whoa, that's nuts, dude. Now, how'd you
That's hilarious.
How'd you get into the Anaheim Ducks?
How did I get this this mask?
No. How did you become a Ducks fan?
Oh, I mean, I got into everybody was like, I don't know, everybody was like all these like crazy fandoms and stuff, and honestly, like I loved Mighty Ducks from Disney. I'm probably sure that I got brainwashed into it, you know, like on
Disney
upon
does that,
reflection and a deep talk with a therapist. But like honestly, I honestly love the Ducks. Like
what small
I thought they
town
were
are you
cool.
from? What was the small town you're from?
Oh, Taft.
Oh, okay. Taft is the other. It's just for Mike, so Mike knows. Taft is another one of those small towns known for oil and
Like
tweakers,
Shafter,
pretty much,
like
right?
Shafter type of town.
Yeah,
but even further out. Yeah, right.
A lot of crystal meth there, Boydston.
We played them in football, like back in the day.
A lot of crystal meth in that Taft. Or am I reading this wrong?
There's a common joke that people use against Taft, and it's they're all freaking tweaking.
Okay.
That's what the acronym is for Taft.
And it hasn't changed in years.
That's not true at all. Like Taft's changed completely. Like we have a water tower that just got built out of nowhere.
What?
I like was gone, and then all of a sudden we had a water tower, and I was like, oh man,
Baller.
Looks like the practice field in like NCAA when you're trying to get into a school.
That reminds me of the new skyscraper they're putting in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm just
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Okay.
So in hockey, I don't have the only team I hate in hockey are the Flyers, but every other team, like even the Red Wings, I really love the Red Wings. I think they're a class act. I love their uniforms, and I didn't watch hockey until I met my wife. My wife's half Canadian. She loves hockey, so I never watched hockey until we started dating. I mean, I didn't watch sports at all until we started dating. She's huge into football. She loves the Steelers. But anyways, so tonight we were watching the first period of the Ducks or of the Penguins opener, right before the show started. But yeah, I've always appreciated the Ducks. I just feel bad for Duck fans because it's every other hockey. LA hockey just doesn't have the same type of fans as every other hockey city. Do you agree with me on that, Boydston?
Well, I mean, LA is championship based. Love. You know what I mean? Like you've got to at least make
Bandwagon.
the postseason to even build
Oh,
things.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like no, it's driven by that. Like the Lakers. Are you kidding me? Like no one cared until they were the Showtime Lakers. You know?
Oh yeah, that's true too. What's crazy though is here in Bakersfield, you got the Condors, and it does very well. It's the Condors. It's the Edmonton Oilers farm team, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
But,
that's correct.
Yeah, but it'll fill up on a busy weekend. You'll hit 8,000 people in these games and stuff too. So that is still kind of blows my mind because growing up in Orange County, living in Arizona,
way better. Hockey's way better live. Like when you see hockey live, you understand what you're watching. When you watch hockey on TV, it's just like, oh, look at this Canadian guy's hitting a stick around. Okay, well, whatever. When you watch hockey live, you see him set up plays. You see him switch from offense to defense. You're just like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. You start to realize, why Tuukka Rask is an amazing goalie. You're just like, okay, this is it. Like, it's a weird sport because it sucks you in the same way that college basketball playoffs suck you in.
Dude, hockey is like a sport that was created by a kid from Canada with ADHD. Like, honestly.
I spend a ton of time in Canada, and literally everybody plays hockey. Literally. Like, dudes my age play hockey. And you know the weird part, Boydston? In Pittsburgh, everybody plays street hockey. And so, like, one time a friend of mine, he had a bachelor party, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to play street hockey. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I show up, and everybody's schooling me. I'm like, how do you guys know how to do this? And they're like, you didn't play street hockey when you were growing up? I'm like, why would I play street? No, I wasn't in the newsies, bro. Like I grew up with the sunshine,
Wait, so street hockey though, what is it out of what Wayne's World? Is it like that?
Kind of like
in tennis shoes with a ball. And
and there's big, massive courts all over Pittsburgh, and
there's
every borough.
Courts?
Yeah, and every borough has their own team, and the guys, dudes, 45-year-old dudes will be at like some Polish bar. Like hardcore punk rock bar, just talking trash to another dude about a pickup hockey game that they're going to play tomorrow at the, whatever center.
What's the ratio of street hockey and basketball courts? About the same?
It's about even, Steven.
Okay.
Dude, Pittsburgh, we have Boydston on here. We don't need to waste our time talking about. I'll tell you about Pittsburgh real quick, and we're going to get to Boydston.
Well, my next question was in Taft. What's the ratio?
Oh, that's a good question.
Of
There's no street hockey, right? I'm not crazy.
No.
California does not have this thing, right?
Street hockey in Taft is like a unit in PE in junior high that like disappears after a week of doing it. But honestly, here's the thing. Like I was saying, like hockey is literally created by a kid with ADHD from Canada, and like
just wanted to run around.
It's like, what do you want to do? Well, I want to play a sport, and it's like, all right, cool, that's what we're here for. What do you want to do with it? And it's like, I want to play on water. It's like, what do you mean on water? It's like, it's frozen. And you're like, oh, well, that sounds really dangerous. They're gonna like probably break their ankles and stuff. You're like, you don't want to do that. And he just goes, no, because you're gonna have knives on the bottom of your boot that you balance yourself on. And when you run around on the ice looking like a samurai for sports with your stick, and you're like, wait, you have a stick? Yeah, it's like a golf club. Well, what's it hitting? Is it hitting a ball like something? No, it's hitting a rubber rock. Flies anywhere from 80 to 100 miles an hour, given where it's hit from and by who.
Are you gonna wear a mask? Maybe a helmet, maybe.
Well, yeah, you'll wear a helmet, eventually, and eventually we're like gonna tell goalies to do that, but they have to look like the dude who inspired Nightmares from the 80s.
Yeah, dude, but goalies' outfits are dope, bro. You remember that cat? It was before Fleury. He was the Penguins goalie. He had the Penguin from Batman, bro. He had Danny DeVito painted on his helmet, bro. It was sick. I was like,
that's crazy.
This is a gangster, man.
Dude, okay, I'm sorry, we're going down a rabbit hole. I'm a huge hockey fan. Like, not just the Ducks. I am in fantasy hockey, which I'm pretty sure is a very, very small portion of Earth.
Nah, bro. If you came to Pittsburgh, you'd be right, bathed pig and mud, because like everybody's a hockey fan around here. All right, so Boydson, you ever been to Canada before?
Yeah, I have been to Canada before.
Okay, have you ever noticed? You notice those cats? They're always in a good mood. They're not rude. Like, they're polite. All that stuff. I have a theory about it, bro. You know what my theory is? This is my theory. Okay, we're Americans, right? And me and you, let's say we work together. You're getting on my nerves, dude. If I hit you or I beat you up, whatever, I'm going to jail. Nothing. So I got to harbor this anger, harbor this hatred, whatever. But if we're Canadians, I would know I was playing you in hockey because your team was going to play against my team. Even when we're into our late 40s, and I'm going to F you up on the ice. I'm going to get everything out on that ice. I'm going to beat you like a rented mule on that ice. And then afterwards, we go get a beer.
I mean, like, yeah, that's totally a thing. And they do that. Like, they literally, on the ice. They will, like, if you see any mic'd up clips, okay, fall down a rabbit hole whenever you're like drunk one night and just go onto YouTube and look up hockey trash talk videos, because there's a lot of them and they're like, none of them's not entertaining. They call it chirping, by the way. Like you're a bird. You're just chirping at them on the ice.
Now, what do you?
What
like
do they
better?
talk about? Like,
buddy,
your mama?
Your mothers, everything, dude. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like, one of my favorites, is him saying, like, "Go back home, you pigeon," and he just goes, "Ah, ah," like, just makes noises at him. And, like, you know, it's fun because nothing's off limits.
What was that HBO special? Boy, so what was that HBO special with the hockey? I can't remember the name of it. Was it
Enforcer?
No, it was. They did it with different teams, but one year they did it with the Penguins, and I remember I can't remember who the coach was at the time.
Oh yeah, no, that was really good.
Yeah, but they were scoring points, Adley, for how well the team was doing, and so like if you did an assist, you got 2 points. You know, if you made a goal, it's 3 points. And one of the guys in the team got in a fist fight on the ice, and then they showed him afterwards standing on the ice. He had like a little patch of ice with a boxing with a heavy bag, and he was on his skates hitting the heavy bag, and they gave him 4 points for starting the fight. Am I the only one that didn't freeze, or did I freeze and nobody else froze? I might be the only one that didn't freeze, huh? I think I might have froze and nobody else froze. How did everybody freeze but me? Well, this got to be entertaining for everybody. Well, anyways, so that's my theory on hockey. I don't know. I should call Adley and ask him if I froze or if everybody else froze. I feel like everybody else froze. Let me see. This is quality podcast entertainment. Thank you, folks, for watching. Boydson is hilarious. We're talking about Adley.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but everybody else froze. I was like, did I freeze or did everybody else freeze? I'm on here by myself now. Here comes Boydston. He came back. You come back. Kill everything, dude. Kill everything on your computer. We got to get this dance floor hopping again. Maybe reboot. I don't know. All right. Well, I'm really excited to talk to our guest tonight. His name is Andrew Boydston, professional comedian. I don't know what everybody's got bad internet tonight or something. Everybody's got bad internet. Folks, this is my commercial for Verizon. Maybe all the internet in Bakersfield went out.
Dude, this is crazy.
This is crazy. Folks, I do have Adley on the phone with me right now. He's talking. Boydston, I don't know where Boydston is. What I can say is I got a podcast with 2 circles. So now that I got the mic by myself and no one's here to stop me, let me tell you how I really feel about the American government. Let me tell you how I really feel about the Illuminati. Let me tell you how I really feel about Ghislaine Maxwell. Huh? Now that nobody's here to stop me, I'm going to go on a tirade and explain to you people exactly how I feel about all these things that the government is hiding from us. Now, if you don't believe the government is hiding these things from us, oh, look at that. I'm all by myself now. If you don't believe the government is hiding these things from us, then you need to get your head out of the sand, folks. America is being lied to right now. And here's the first part of the lies. When you're getting peanut butter from the grocery store, sometimes you think that peanut butter is all natural. But realistically, there's probably a lot of preservatives. Now, what are these preservatives doing to us, folks? These preservatives are making us fat. And when I say fat, I don't mean, like unhealthy fat. I mean real fat, folks. Not unattractive fat. I mean largely fat. And the reason why is we have too many preservatives in our food, folks. So you got to stop eating at the fast food places. I know it's delicious. I know it's cheap. Adley, are you almost here?
Let's see, dude. It's still circling.
We're still circling the wagons, folks. I almost have Adley back. Maybe reboot the whole thing.
Yeah, I rebooted the computer.
Oh, you rebooted the computer?
Yeah.
Dude, I think it's California internet, folks. This is a conspiracy theory for me, but I think Gavin Newsom has destroyed your internet privileges, Adelaide, because it's taking up too much electricity in the state of California. Oh, wait a minute. I got Boydston back. He's in California. Gavin Newsom didn't do nothing to him. I'm adding him to the screen. Boom.
Wow.
What happened to everybody's internet?
Oh, it cut out for everybody.
Yeah, dude, except for me. I was tap dancing the whole time. Poor Adley.
Oh my gosh.
You and
I'm
Adley
so
cut out
sorry.
at the same time. Don't feel bad. All right.
Oh, well.
Let's get back to this conversation.
Yeah.
What do you like better, hockey or football?
I mean, hockey's my second football. I was raised on football. I played football. But I tried hockey, and honestly, I play NHL like on PS4. Like I love the NHL, like I love the sport of hockey and everything about it. It's so fun that a sport can just all of a sudden turn into a boxing match.
I was oddly thinking about you today, Boydson. I thought this. I'm being honest with you. You were born on the wrong coast, dude. You would have done so well if you were born in Pittsburgh. Seriously, because you have so many Pittsburgh attributes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what aside from hockey?
Football?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. But I'm a Colts fan, so
yeah.
And okay. You know what? That's funny because my dad's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So
I don't know. There's just you have the mannerisms of an East Coast fella.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have kind of like the spirit of an East Coast fella. And I'm obviously like a very West Coast fella. You know what I mean? Like my voice sounds like the slang of Los Angeles. So everybody here thinks I have an accent, which I do not. I speak normal. All of them have an accent. That being said, you have a lot of mannerisms, like very, very similar to Pittsburgh. Like you should have been born here. You would have, like, if you were here, everybody just assume you're from here. The reason why I love it here is because everybody knows I'm not from here. But go ahead.
Oh, it's funny because like growing up, my friends thought I was like a American Canadian because I was very apologetic. I was always kind, like way too nice. I don't know, like it's always been kind of a weird thing, and I've never felt like a stranger in Bakersfield. So maybe it's just like Bakersfield as the exception, but honestly, I love like going to places that are very West Coast, like Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco. I just did a comedy festival up in Humboldt, which is awesome. Shout out to Savage Henry. Boom. Chris Durant. You're an angel for putting on that festival. And Adley's back.
I know. Adley, tell me if you agree with me on this. I told Andrew Boydston that he reminds me of a Pittsburgher or an East Coaster more than a West Coaster. What say you, sir?
I could definitely see that. Definitely see that. Yeah.
See, Boydston, I'm not making it up.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you today because seriously, like you're very similar to an East Coast person. Like, but at the same time, I also enjoy that you like the West Coast. So let's get into this comedy thing. When did you decide to go into comedy?
I get are you wanting like the roots of it, or do you want like when I started doing comedy?
Give us the origin story.
The origin story came whenever, I was watching we were listening to different comedians and stuff, and it's not even comedians I listen to anymore, but I just remember writing back and my dad was laughing so hard at these comedians he almost drove us into oncoming traffic. and then he had to pull off the side of the road, and the whole family's just like laughing their butts off at this. It was a blue collar, like blue collar comedy and stuff. And then eventually I was like, oh, this comedy thing's kind of cool. So I watched Comedy Central, and I watched all kinds of crazy people on there that now they're, like icons and stuff, like Patton Oswalt and Bill Burr, Jim Gaffigan, Gabriel Iglesias, who's from Bakersfield. So, it's like crazy how it all started. But really, the whole reason I even got into comedy was like out of tragedy. Like something happened to me in college. So, I lost my cousin in a car accident. And that was in 2008 or no, 2009. And after that, like I shut down for a good, 2 weeks, and I just sat there and thought long and hard about what I wanted to do with my life. Like it could end in any instant. And I got to have like a really cool dream where I talked to her again. It's really weird. It's really, I almost sound like a religious fanatic saying it out loud, but
you know what, boys? I don't think that's weird at all, to be totally honest with you. Everybody who had somebody close to them die that I've talked to has had some sort of conversation with that person of some sort. My dad died a couple years ago, and he gave me a couple of those "how you doing?" and I was like, am I freaking nuts? What's going on around here? And I am very religious, and so I'm like, if I said this at church, people would probably think I was crazy, but I knew that I wasn't making it up. You know what I mean? But anyways, please continue with the story. I was listening.
No, yeah. And we lost her in a car accident, and her name was Shay. And, I got to talk to her again, and literally whenever I was talking to her, she said, do what you love and what I love about you. And that was, she knew I was never afraid to say what was on my mind. Because I always did it in the spirit of good, like something about being funny. And that was the whole thing. That was, I guess, a really, really profound moment for me. And then the next day I didn't go to class. Instead, I bought a notebook in the bookstore at Fresno State, and I sat there for a good 4 hours just trying to conjure up what I thought comedy was, which was just scribbling and people watching, and eventually getting my mind going, and putting me on this insane path where every now and then I do a dive bar where people heckle me, but I get paid in a sandwich and a beer amongst $50 in gas. So by the way, kids, if you don't want to live outside your means of what a successful life is, don't do comedy.
That's a lot like being a DJ.
Same advice.
Like DJs are the same. You start up your DJing parties for free beer, hopefully meet some chicks at the parties. Like, dude, there's chicks and beer. It's like, yeah, man, but we gotta lug all this stuff, bro. We gotta pay for the gas. But,
no, I'm like the Bakersfield Condors of comedy. You know what I mean? Like I'm part of a farm team every now and then where I get pulled up to perform with people outside of my rank completely, and I'm just like happy to be here. Coach sees a lot of promise in me. I'm gonna go out there and just give the whole line energy. I think one of the work that third line grind.
Yeah, one of the first times I saw you was at Temblor, and that was, I want to say it was opening up for Kostaki Economopoulos.
Constantopoulos,
yeah, that guy,
yeah.
the biggest name in comedy. Literally, yes, but he's actually super nice guy. We've done a few shows with him, and you opened up for him, and I remember that.
Yeah,
and I laughed. I think.
Yeah, I did. Well,
I'm just kidding. No, Boydston's fun. No, for real, his stand-up's great.
Oh, I appreciate that. Actually, how I fell into that gig was I got asked at the last second to host it, and he was like, "Oh, you're hosting," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm like bringing up everybody and doing that thing, and Kostaki's like, "No, just go up there in due time, like have fun up there, and just hand the torch off." And then my feature, I can't remember his name. He was funny too.
Was it Chris Flail?
I don't think Chris was on that gig. That's how I actually landed the hosting gig. He was like out of town doing something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So also shout out to Chris Flail, the father of Temblor comedy. Very good. And also, Joe Alaniz carrying the torch, who started with me out at Fresno. And then we went to Bakersfield, like back to Bakersfield. So it's kind of funny.
You actually started doing stand up in Fresno.
Oh yeah, 2009
okay.
Fresno State Bulldogs.
Okay.
What was it? The comedy competition. My videos on YouTube. I said some very edgy stuff because I was very influenced by Daniel Tosh as far as like, just being, I wanted to have like
I
a
thought you were
point.
gonna say I was very influenced by Eddie Murphy Raw. Didn't realize those words were gonna come back to bite me.
I mean, it's just with Daniel Tosh, he was always like pointing out things and unapologetic about being witty, but with a tinge of offensive or overkill. It like that was his balance. That's how he made his drinks, and sometimes it was heavy handed on either side. But then eventually, I got very fortunate because I was at a college party and this kind of defined my style. Was a friend coming out after I just told a story in my life and, just having a lot of fun with it. And then I walked outside and we were smoking on the porch and all of a sudden he just goes, "Why don't you do that on stage?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "Why don't you tell these stories? Like all your jokes are like weird, contrived, like views on the world. Have you ever thought about like just telling a story?" And I said, "No, I don't think it's interesting enough. I don't think I could keep a crowd." And then next thing I knew, I was up there and I did it. And my buddy, I was like, "I'll buy you a drink if it works because I don't think it will. And I'll try my hardest to make this happen." And then I went up there, it worked. And I was like, "Oh, well, I think I found my thing."
And Boydston had to split half his pay with his friend just buying him a drink because they're paying so little at that comedy club.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to sit there and like, I don't know, big dog people like in comedy and stuff and sound like I'm a big deal, but I've done it for 13 years, so I do have
I was just going to ask that. Yeah, I was just going to ask how long. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done it for 13 years, and obviously I can't quit it. It's an abusive relationship at times, but I love it. Like I'm a part of it.
Yeah, I don't
we work out our
comedy at all.
problems. We work out our problems, even though we have issues. All right, we don't go to therapy. We just sit there and keep doing the same thing and hoping for different results.
That's the best way to describe that abusive relationship.
Well, like I don't understand comedy.
Yeah.
So DJing's a hard life, and I'm not trying to make people feel sorry for DJs, but I think comedy's 1,000 times harder of a life.
Do you know what my degree is in from Fresno State?
No idea.
Social services,
mass communications, and journalism, broadcast emphasis.
Wow. Okay.
I wanted to do like sports talk. I guess that makes me even more Pittsburgh. Damn. Yeah. As I'm going along, I'm just.
I know. I'm telling you, you're a Yinzer.
That's my mecca. Apparently, like I gotta just like kind of go.
You just
there
gotta learn how to
time
fist fight, though. I don't know. You might already know how to fist fight, but here's look, Boydston. I promise you this. I'll tell you some Pittsburgh things about you. I bet you could fix a sink, huh?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I bet you can install some form of flooring, correct?
I wouldn't say flooring. That's
okay.
Man.
You ever done drywall?
My knees are crap.
You ever done drywall or framing?
I'm like a 32-year-old running back. There's nothing. I'm good for I'm good for 5 carries in a game. That's what I'm
got you,
for.
Andrew. But I'm not trying to day labor you. I'm just asking, have you done these things? Have you ever done any framing?
Oh God, dude, no.
What about
look? I'm not the most blue collared person ever, even on site maybe. And then I start talking about like the Star Wars universe and the stuff I'm really into. Like
there's nothing wrong with Star Wars. Star Wars is dope. You've never done drywall?
But if you sat there and you were just like, "Hey man, you want to help me move?" Like I would always help you because I had a truck, and that's what a friend is marooned to do when they have a truck.
I know that's
dude. I hang out with comedians. They're all sitting there on like gas efficient vehicles, and meanwhile I'm from Taft, just being like, "In our family, we drive GMC, buddy."
All oil in Taft.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. We burn a Stegosaurus on our trips.
Wait, Adley, you didn't think Boydston could do some drywalling and framing as well, or no? Am I the only one on this podcast that thought he could do framing and drywall?
I was going to ask, do you know how to change a spare, to change a tire?
Change a tire, yeah. That one I can do.
But doesn't he look like he could do drywall?
I think so. It looks a little
He looks like a
Northwest
longshoreman, dude. I
lumberjack-ish
don't know who
kinda,
you're looking
yeah.
at. Boydston looks like a
I can see
longshoreman.
that. Yeah.
A journeyman, a longshoreman. I've been
Yeah.
described as so many titles that I feel are disrespectful
know
to
if you're gonna be
hardworking Americans.
I don't know if you're going to be a journeyman. You might
But
still be an
can I-
apprentice. But
can I
you
just
look
be-
like that, though, Boydston. You don't realize that you look like that? Like, you look like a blue-collar guy.
I would clean up in Portland.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would
yeah,
say.
I guess you're right. I didn't think about that.
Because it's like he's eccentric, but like he does things that revolve like around strength. Like
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
the charisma's through the roof.
Yeah,
I don't know
dig
how he has muscle tone still. Like,
it. I dig it.
Well, I feel like even when you were doing the comedy shows, you have a drink and a cigarette. That's
I don't do
kinda-
cigarettes.
Okay, you quit? Did you never smoke?
I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Good
This is
for
where all
you.
the comedians hang out after then is in the smoking section then maybe.
I do
You'd be in
jazz
that
cigarettes.
All right, boy. So you told us that you and some buddies did a tour across the country. What was that all about? Tell us about this.
Oh, well, across the country. Calm down. It was the West Coast.
That's pretty
And
good.
so let's pump the brakes.
As far as me and Adley ever went with our DJ, and we were only in Tucson.
I love the hype train, right? Like I love when people like hype up others, but like as a comedian, you're so grounded if you're honest about this. Like it's never lost on me that as a comedian, this could just go away like at any moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, no, like on whatever side you're on, there's like people who hate it now, and it doesn't even matter anymore. Like all I look at it as is I'm a modern day court jester, and I'm just hoping the king doesn't want me executed. You know what I mean? Like
That sucks.
as a metaphor. Because
horrible.
you die on stage, right? That's the metaphor. You die on stage, and really, it's just like I'm gonna have a bar tab, I'm gonna hit a joint, and I'm gonna forget about this tomorrow. But right now, oh, I do feel dead. No one's talking to me, but they can see me. You know, like it's like backup actors in Ghosts because they're like sitting there. They didn't get told who was on the movie, and then like you know, it's about a ghost, so don't look at him, okay? Look through him. And then it's like, oh my God, is that Patrick Swayze? And it's like, you ruined the shot. You ruined the shot.
Boydston, now you're fired. It's like, oh, I'm out of comedy. All right, come on. You told us that cool speech, but you didn't tell us about this tour you went on. Come on, tell us about it.
Because
How'd
it
that
wasn't, I mean, okay, it was a tour, but okay, I'll tell you a story that like let me know how much people do not care about comedy. Okay. I had been doing it for 7 years now, and 3 years in Fresno, 4 years in Bakersfield. And I went on a local news station, and originally no one was coming up with names that were good, and like no one was like, they're like, what do you want to do? And I dropped it in the hat, and I said, you know, Lovable Scumbags Champions of Sadness Tour, because whatever. And but they didn't like it because they're like, well, you have the word Champions of Sadness in there. And I was like, okay, but it's still really good descriptor of who we are. You know what I mean? Like,
Who said they didn't like it? That's a perfect name.
everybody on the tour,
great
like,
name.
unanimously hated it. Like but then they were like, let's do the Cure for Comedy tour. You know what happens when you call a news station and say that you have a tour with the word cure in it?
That you're doing some sort of charity thing.
Yeah.
Because I do.
They call you back.
And oh no, I was on the news when they looked at me in the eye and said, "Hey, I gotta ask you, you know, what are you raising the money for?"
Yeah.
Beer and cigarettes.
This
Is
is
that-
like, have you ever wanted to fire your PR guy, but you were your PR guy?
I like the first name. What was the first name again? That was awesome.
Lovable scumbags,
scumbags.
Champions of Sadness tour.
Dude,
That's
that could
it.
have flown. I feel like
Rick the
that's-
Rebel says amazing show.
I
What's up, Rick?
personally feel like that name right there. That's like a Kings of Comedy sound. It has a pop to it.
See,
What do you say?
that was like what I was going for. I was like the most like Kirkland brand version
Yeah.
of like Kings of Comedy, right? Like
That was
a
I thought
funny
that-
dude. But we downplay it, and then we're all gonna go in there and wreck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we're gonna go in there and wreck. Now
Burn
I'm
that
having to
house down.
answer if I'm raising money for an actual good cause and just like not
Yeah,
one
that's
that's
not
like,
good.
well, I'll put my gun in my mouth if it doesn't work out. So how about that?
Wait, so are you live on the news when they ask you this question, or is this kind of a
Yes.
screening?
No,
Oh, this is
no. They do, pre-screen things to like kind of sorry.
Shock you?
They do it to KGET's credit.
yeah. That's the
They
number one
looked at-
news. Yeah.
That
Okay.
number one news, Green Acres, Bakersfield, and and that day, whew, they probably like if that got posted, which I don't think it did, because
Oh,
they
I
were
wanna
like,
look for it.
no,
It's got to be
we're-
footage somewhere.
Yeah, I
We're not
gotta
even
look for it.
running this on like the 5 o'clock news right before the show. When Bakersfield
teaser.
thinks about like going to a show and it's like 2 hours out, I know this because I also teach, and your kids are tardy as you are. Okay, they don't show up to class. No one wants to do it. And you probably go on the news and sit there and be like, well, I do my job. And I was like, yeah, 30 minutes late every day. Like, you're the worst. So
Right, I'm trying to get so
So sorry.
What was your
Sorry,
answer to the guy when he
I'm
asked you what the money was going for?
I got sidetracked. I'm sorry, people.
It's okay.
That happens. Comedy brain. Also,
Sure.
I'm about to do comedy down the street.
Right on.
But I will say this. We were on the show, and it's with me and my buddy. We were drinking the night before, and we went in hungover, but we had
Oh my gosh.
coffee. So we were like, all right, we're good. And right before that, we heard like something like off to the side, and it was a CB radio, right? And it just goes like, shooting. And you're like, I think I
getting
heard that
bumped.
last word, but I don't know. And then, because you're hungover and you're trying
Yeah.
to get like a little bit of energy and be fun, right? Like that fun uncle energy for America on screen. And then we go over, and the guy's screening me for questions. He says, so what's this raising a cure for? And instantly I wanted to pull out my phone and call Mike Zaleski and put him on there and be like, yeah, Mike, what cure are we raising money for? But what I did do was not be smart and just sit there and be like, well, we're raising money for us along the way of our tour.
Oh,
And then instantly I saw like, we'll roll with it, like in his eyes. Like I saw that.
Oh, no.
And then so we're sitting there, we're having that moment, and then all of a sudden, you know how they do the pan before the commercial, like when they tease it.
Yeah.
Adelaide, you guys have to know this. You're in the industry, you know
Yeah.
teases.
yeah.
Like right before we throw it to you. But they are sitting there, and the anchor did not hear the conversation because she's over there. She's not the interviewer, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, we have word from the Bakersfield Police Department that there's an active shooter in East Bakersfield right now.
Oh man.
We'll give you more of that. But up next, we have some comedians who are talking about raising money for a good cause.
Oh,
And that's not even the worst part,
no.
because Fun Uncle Energy decided to look into the camera and give them finger guns.
Right after the comment about active shooter.
They
That's
make you
awesome.
turn off your phone. They make you turn off your phone when you go on any type of news, right? Because it could mess with equipment. You don't know.
Mm.
They make you turn off your phone. Don't look at your phone. Maybe they lied to me. They're like, nothing's important going on in your life. And then I walk out of the studio. I'm hungover. I feel like I did a good job kind of spinning it to make people come out to Rocket Shop Cafe and see us live. And then the very first text I see is from my mom. And it says, "Did you seriously just give finger guns to the camera after they announced an active shooter in Bakersfield?" And it was followed by my friend saying, "Dude, you are Kaufman level genius."
Oh man.
Holy cow, dude.
I have tried to tell this story on stage, but it's like hard to do it in an open mic setting. Like that's what people don't know is like you do open mics, which is where that's just like Joe Rogan shows up to a Brazilian jiu-jitsu studio and he's like, "Yeah, I'll roll with you." Like that type of
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just have to practice and do all this crazy stuff. And then yeah, it's like 5 minutes at a time, and that's your time. You know what I mean? I'm fortunate because I've been doing it so long in Bakersfield. They give me more. Blessings to Joe Alanese at Timber. Blessings to Dan Betts, who owns Bakersfield's first comedy club, the Well Comedy Club. And it's been a long, weird road. Adley, you've seen me in dive bars. You've seen me in a brewery. Yeah. You've seen me talking to people at a brew fest that are literally 50 feet minimum away from me and walking around just drunk as
Stramler
skunks.
Park.
Yeah, Stramler Park.
Yes.
That's where me and Robin became friends.
That's a good idea. Have a stand-up
though.
comedian it was one of those beer where you go around and sample all the beers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Kind of background, but
I never phoned it in. All right.
True. That is true.
Because I never know better.
So hard. So hard. What now? So when you and your buddies went up the West Coast together? How does this work? You already booked the clubs, or how did that work?
Yeah, did you just cold call them?
So I know I crapped all over my buddy Mike Zaleski, who I love. I love him more than anything in the world. He's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful father, a wonderful husband, and a fantastic comedian. He gave me shots at he opened up the door to me to go to the Central Coast. So I got to give him a shout out. Kreuzberg and Tent City Brewing were like staples, and he was the man who made it happen. But yeah, he had booked so many people up and down the West Coast, and he had connections. I had connections. Trevor Dustin and Mason and Jeremiah were all involved. Jeremiah Nation, Mason Wilkes, and Trevor Dustin, respectively. And we just used all of our connections.
Did you meet all these folks through the comedy scene? Like you've done comedy with them and stuff? Is that what went?
Yeah. And also my point was Zaleski did heavy lifting. Like he got us so many gigs. He was great. Jeremiah Nation, who is one of my best friends in comedy still. So
I want to hear what are some of the cities? I mean, obviously Fresno was on there.
We did Fresno, Bakersfield, Tascadero.
Tascadero?
Was it Tascadero, San Luis Obispo?
The Slow, San Luis. Yeah.
We did
Not
Sacramento.
By the beach.
We did
Sacramento.
Salem. Yeah, Salem, Oregon. We did Eureka before Savage Henry Savage Henry was there, but it was like just a magazine. It wasn't a comedy club up in Eureka. And it's crazy because that's who I was performing with this last week. So that connected. That's funny. But it was called The Juice, and it was Chris Durant still. And another shout out for Chris Durant, just a man who does it big. And then, Portland. And then we wanted to go all the way to Washington, but we just never found enough connections in time,
Okay. Because you're going is it every night pretty much?
Yeah, and then we did Ventura, but Ventura was literally an open mic.
Wait, you did every night?
It wasn't like every night. I want to say it was like we did 2 weeks, and we probably did like 9 to 10.
Rick says, "Did you work the Ice House in Pasadena?"
I have been to Pasadena at the Ice House, and I had like a huge beard at the time, so. I'm a totally different person. Somehow I shave like a beard that makes me look like a Civil War general, right?
Yeah.
and I look more racist. Isn't that like a messed up trade-off?
Yeah,
I
it
could
lines
see
up with
that.
Pittsburgh though.
I look like I'm gonna do a TikTok on affirmative action in my parking lot and why it's wrong to all of my follower on TikTok.
How can I be racist if?
Yeah, that's it.
Tied it up, baby.
That's it. That's the opening line.
Tied it up, baby.
The opening line for the TikTok.
People are gonna be like, why did it cut out in the middle? And then they'll never know we were rehearsing it behind the scenes. No,
That's it. That's it. He was doing this callback. Now, did you get to enjoy the cities that you went through, or what?
Oh yeah, we totally did a bunch of stuff. Honestly, that was my first experience where we just like went to a park and played like Dungeons and Dragons and, you know, smoked pot, had a good time drinking, all that good stuff. And we got Rainier beer, which is like Northern California Oregon beer. I'm sure it probably started in like Washington or something, but it was funny because you're like, oh, this is their Miller High Life because the hipsters have to have it, you know.
Oh, is that it? It was
Rainier. Yeah, there's a Mount Rainier in Washington, right?
Yeah,
it's the
like
Pabst Blue Ribbon in Pittsburgh. That's what the hipsters drink here is Pabst Blue Ribbon.
PBR.
See, and that's the thing. Like Pabst Blue Ribbon is like, oh, okay. Did you just get into being a hipster?
No, in Pittsburgh they have this barber shop where they cut your mustache funny, and when you go there to get a haircut, they give you a free beer. They give you a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Like every hipster to me, and
I've
I have
never
friends.
got my haircut there.
I have friends. Okay, fantastic mustaches. Look like they should have armbands and be serving sarsaparilla while playing a piano in a saloon.
Oh wow!
But I love them. Or tying a damsel in distress to railroad tracks while twirling it and going yeah. But they can't do that because they're vegan and they don't have the strength.
Oh jeez,
the blood sugar gives out on them.
Oh my goodness, I want this. Hey, here's something I just kind of think about being a comedian, because when you're a DJ, you still got the music kind of to save you just in case. So if you throw on a dud and it clears the floor, you're like, ooh. So you have your kind of go-tos. I'm just thinking when you crush at a comedy show, it's got to feel so good, obviously.
But if you're about to lay an egg.
How bad does it feel when you just when just people don't get it or whatever? Or have you been booed before?
Oh yeah, I've been heckled and booed. I've had things thrown at me. I've had some pretty rough experiences. Had a biker like gang in a place, try to like fight me a long time ago. And I said something very unsavory to a woman who kept heckling throughout the whole show.
Did you say the C word? Did you call her the C word?
I did. I called her country.
That's a bad word, man. That's such a bad word. That's the worst word you could call anybody. I feel like the C word is to ladies what the N word is to black people. Like you're not supposed to say it if you're neither of those two type of people. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I mean, the whole thing is,
I'm not judging you, Boydston. Don't worry.
No, I don't care. Like, we're on Earth, and I see people, they get canceled, and then they're like in arenas. Okay, cool. Yeah. Canceled from what? People who can't afford a ticket? Who cares? Like, who don't want to pay a ticket to see you? Like, okay. Like,
I just feel like comedy's so hard. So, like, what Adler was saying is, like, if we put a dud on, usually him, and the dance floor started crawling away. And I'm like, bro, I told you, man. Nobody heard of that Masterpiece song before. Don't be playing that record. There was always something that we could put on to get us out of it. Like, there was always a jam that we're like, okay, cool. Forget it, man. DMX, party up. Put it on right now because we got to get people on this dance floor before people leave. Or you know what that other one, Keith Murray? What was that one with Keith Murray?
With R. Kelly.
Yeah, R. Kelly, Keith Murray, and Redman. Remember that? Home Alone. Yeah, you put on Home Alone. The ladies are dancing. Okay, my point in saying that is, do you have like a joke or something? Like if they start turning on you, you got something in your pocket you try to throw at them or what?
I mean, you've got the utility belt for sure, like the bag
Oh.
of tricks, whatever way you want to phrase it. I think it's like you do stash up good material for sure, but it's all about like the nature of where you're at and what you're trying to do. Like if I go up there now and I want to do a new joke and then someone just, for lack of a better word, tosses their own salad for a good 6, up there, I try to bring out some home run hits every now and then, or I'll layer it with the big ones. I used to believe in the philosophy of sandwiching, which is you open strong, you close strong, right? And everything in the middle can be your cannon fodder. Now it's just like, had a weird day at Chipotle today. You guys are going to hear about it right now for 5 minutes, and we'll see where it goes.
That's crazy.
We'll take it back to the lab. The lab is my porch where I sit there and reflect on why I shouldn't have done the joke. And
I don't know, dude. If people weren't laughing, I'd have to figure out a way to get them laughing. Because if people weren't dancing, oh man, I didn't like that feeling. That made me mad. I didn't like if people weren't dancing. I was an attention for dancing whore, whatever you'd call that. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you comedians, you like to hear
On a
people laugh
mission.
at you? I love watching people dance, man. If they weren't dancing, I wasn't very happy. But you'll let people not laugh. I'll be pretty frustrated. What about it?
Well, no, like, look, sometimes it's not your crowd. You know what I mean? Like, you get, you guys act like there's not variables.
I mean, we just don't know
like
what
we're
it is,
operating
bro.
within a vacuum, and this is like a science.
We have no idea
formula.
how it is. That's why we're asking.
No, yeah, and I'll tell you, like, there's so many variables. First off, when are you being booked? Where are you being booked? Are people paying to see you? Are the people is it a dive bar, or are you at like this swanky kind of club, that has somebody and nobody's had a drink up until then, so nobody's having fun. Like they're just staring at you and like they're like, can't relate, life's perfect.
Oh, jeez.
I'm well adjusted and have a 401k, and I'm just sitting there like, that just sounds like an exhausting race. And it is. No, but it all comes down to a lot of different factors, and all I try to do is kind of match the energy, if people aren't engaged, I'm just like, I'm really not happy to be here either, guys. Like,
Oh my god.
Just be real with them, look at them and be like, hey, but good drinks. I get to talk into the microphone like a psychopath for a good 8 minutes. And so now here's a joke about why I think Sting has a really creepy stalker song.
That's pretty dope.
My parents love this, and I'm pretty sure a woman got strangled to inspire it. Like,
Yeah, that is a weird song.
you guys,
that's great.
Wait, I can like go like crazy dark sex joke, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just no F words.
Just no bad words.
That's it.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know if you guys know this, but if you play Sting Every Breath You Take and you put it on max volume, at the end of him saying, I'll be watching you, you can hear and then him reach into his pants. Meanwhile, Lady Gaga gets a #1 hit because being a stalker sounds so much better from a female with paparazzi.
Wait, so Boydston, now what is it like being a comic now when it's like, because I swear I feel like you can't say something or someone's not going to think you're correct. You know what I mean?
There's like so many thoughts that go through my head with that like logic and stuff, and here's what I've learned about Earth, okay? Like in my life of living, like on this planet, and that is people are not going to like you for one reason or another. They're just not going to like you, and some people will come at you, and it's usually whenever something's going good for you, and now you can like affect other people. Meanwhile, someone who like they did open mic one time and they bombed, and so they hate it, like they just sit there and stare at you and say things. But like, honestly, I don't know, and I don't care. Everybody is going to have their opinions, and if you don't like mine, then cool. I hope you never come out again. I guarantee you off, stage, we could have a drink and have some really fun conversations.
Well, I just think it's stupid to go to a comedy show and get mad because the guy's saying something about what you like. It's like, bro, he said something about you didn't like, you thought it was funny. Now he's saying something about something you do like. Look, bro, somebody liked what you didn't like, and you were laughing. Now, just because it's hitting home, that doesn't mean he's being mean to you. He was mean to the other guy. Now he's mean to you. And I don't even think it's being mean. It's being funny. And at the end of the day, after I got to go work to get my 401k and all the hard bull crap I got to put up with, I just want to hear this man tell me the truth about something, and I want to laugh about it.
Yeah, or here's a novel concept. Just don't.
Don't laugh?
Yeah, just don't laugh. Just stare at them and make the room uncomfortable, or just be the one person who didn't get the joke. That's another thing. Look. No. I believe there is a certain degree of outrage that just comes from people who, like, they live so close to the topic, right? Like, they live so close to it that they can't see. Like, I made a joke on Facebook, right? And I made a joke, and it scared me because I was like, man, I might lose something on this, But
well, listen, Boydston, you're not supposed to take Putin's side in this war. I told you that beforehand and made the joke anyway. But anyways,
I mean, the joke writes itself. I'm just Putin it out there, okay? And
thank you for rolling with me on that.
Yeah, see, I just did a pun.
That was great.
Now,
dude, you caught up with me so fast.
See, well, it's not fast at all. It's just like the wit of a dimwit. That's all it is.
But
like,
you're good.
I'm like an AP village idiot. You know what I mean? Like, I just have I can be quippy and all this stuff. And they're like, are you hiding from something? And I was like, yeah, your disapproval, but you're not allowed to know that.
No, here's
because I got to appear like I really got it down. Like, I really
Some people just don't get jokes though, dude. Some people have crap sense of humors. So you can be polite and say that maybe they live too close to it, but I'm not a comic, so I'll just tell the truth.
True.
Don't go to a comedy show if you don't know how to laugh. And if you get offended, you're not supposed to go to comedy shows. It's just that it seems that Adlai, what do you say on this?
Dude, that makes a lot of sense too. And you think when you're going to a show, there's going to be an opener, even if it's a big name. So I feel like you just got to give the dude a chance. And that's the thing. The people that are going to be hating or heckling or whatever, they just have never been like in that position. Because I feel like, dude, it takes nerves of steel to go on stage in front of a crowd, knowing that they could boo you, heckle you, throw stuff at you, but you're like, all right, I'm going to go up there anyways and see what happens. And I'm like, dude, I don't have.
Yeah, and you can't just play party up and it starts going crappy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can I just draw a comparison? People will go on Facebook, and if there is an article about a new In-N-Out opening like somewhere in the Midwest, you're going to have at least like 50 Bakersfield people who are like good old boys just sitting there being like, In-N-Out's trash. It's all about Whataburger. And people are just going to draw lines in the sand and sit there and do that. And those people are wrong because In-N-Out is better.
Whataburger's
it
garbage.
is better.
Trash.
Just straight up.
Sorry, Whataburger. I don't get it.
Whataburger's garbage.
We had them in Arizona.
We had them in Arizona, yeah. They were that was like, oh no.
Mustard on a
we
burger?
didn't have In-N-Out. That's either. We didn't have In-N-Out at the time.
But that's another thing that makes me laugh though, is like, I can play devil's advocate and I can be fun and playful with it just for that sake. But, I don't want to ever do it to where I alienate myself whenever I'm just talking to a human. And I did that when I was young. Like, I didn't realize I was doing it. I was just like, oh, I'm just trying to be funny and all this stuff. And and they're like, yeah, but like there's a time and a place. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. But like,
but the time and the place is at a comedy show. And if I'm going to a comedy show and you say some stuff, it's like, bro, like, how did you not know this might happen? You know what I mean? Like, and comedy is very hard. I remember I was in New York, me and my wife, we got, in New York, comedy's real hard because you got to hand out tickets, and before you even get any stage time, you got to hand out tickets. So this guy was handing out tickets, and I knew the drill. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the show. So I go to the show, and man, there were like 30 comics on that show. Like they were just all trying to get their time. Probably the first two guys got paid, and the rest of them were just like, I'll give you stage time. And then at the end of the night, they're like, we'll give you free tickets for tomorrow night's show if you stay and watch the last 6 comics. And by this point, it's dragging, bro. Like, it's not funny anymore. You're just kind of giving them chuckles to be polite. Then this kid comes out there and he just starts smacking his hands. He's like, we got you all locked in here. Look at this. This is the museum for food. And he's just like lights the place up. And we could not stop laughing. And I looked at that kid. I looked at that kid and I was like, man, I should go tell him how funny he is. And I walked to the back of the room to tell him how funny he was. And he was surrounded by like 5 girls. And I'm like, I'm not going to be that dude. So
oh, yeah. Yeah. Great set, bro. You want a drink? And he's like, yeah, but not from you.
Yeah. He was surrounded by like 5 girls. I was like, I will not be that dude. So I told the guy that wasn't that funny, he was funny. I was like, man, you're real funny.
there's I mean, like, there's been some crazy, I would say touching moments where I've even gotten off stage, and it's like, I remember doing a show in Bakersfield, and you just sit there and you're like, I want to make a room laugh. Like, I want people to laugh, but you never think about like why they're laughing, like why they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And you never know that. And then all of a sudden this lady came up to me and she was gorgeous, like an LA 10 in Bakersfield. And she had like a tight red dress, and she was just a gorgeous brunette, ruby red lipstick, like the whole shebang, right? Like, she was programmed from the Matrix. This woman should not be in the same area code as me, just because I'm not. No, I look at you as like, I know we're all equals, but we're not. No, we're not. And she looks at me and she says, hey, can I buy you a drink? And I said, I was about to ask you the same thing, because she said, you were really funny tonight. And then she like broke into the story about how she had a husband and he died in Afghanistan while serving. Oof. And she had not been out of the house for like 3 months. Wow. And that was her first time out. And she said it was good to feel like I could laugh again. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm doing something pretty damn good. Like, for every asshole that, yeah, you'll just have me. For every butt muncher that ever could exist that would just want to come out and hate you, there's that one person that'll approach you and let you know that you did something for them. And it's like that just like throws you off, because all you're sitting there doing is like trying to make a room kind of like you and agree with you to a degree, right? Like, there's a huge volume of narcissism, but don't have ego about it, because that's the whole reason you're going to be funny. Like, you peel the onion live. Like,
and if you get like too cool for yourself, then you're completely unfunny.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to comedians when they get too cool for themselves.
But that's like a moment that's forever branded in my brain, that like I never expected to happen. And you just hold on to those moments, like, even if they're silly, BS. People buy you drinks all the time and all this stuff, and you love it, and you have a good time, you have good conversations, you remember a lot of them, but that's like one that just sticks, and that's kind of what enforced it, because that kind of relayed me back to the origin story of Shay, whenever I got to talk to her again in the dream after she passed. So it's sorry guys, sorry, I'm a human, I'm not just a little joke bot. Okay, like I have feelings and emotions just like you. Okay, that's the beauty of me wearing flannel on the West Coast. I'm allowed to have feelings and not stuff them down.
Sorry, bro. Pittsburgh slowly but surely closing the door on you as you're starting to talk about these feelings. These guys don't know about that type of stuff.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
That lock's made of steel, brother.
Sorry, exactly. Yeah, sorry. We're going to Mancini's. We're going to Mancini's. Have a pepperoni roll. I've never seen this guy before.
I love all of you, even if you hate me.
It's like a Twitch DJ right there.
How's that make you feel?
But like, so when it's this kind of politically correct society on both sides, I think that's the frustrating part, you know, because you've got the overly liberal, like everybody's got to be a whatever, and then you got the overly right that everybody's got to be religious, and it's like, man, between the two of you guys, although I guess the overly right, they've gotten a little bit more lenient, huh? Because they got Kid Rock on their camp. They got Kid Rock giving the middle finger, giving the middle finger to Nancy Pelosi. They're like, yeah, well, we need somebody. They're not doing too good in the celebrity department, man. They got Chachi. They got you know what I mean? Like, they got to get some better celebrity. Dog the Bounty Hunter. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like, we told you to get Caesar Milan, dude. Not this fool.
Caesar. Oh boy.
I mean, like, the counterbalance of it all to me is just like some people want to complain and some people want them to work, you know, like whatever it is. I think on both sides, like it sounds so silly to me that like we're so divided, right? Whenever everybody I meet is pretty well adjusted, like for the most part.
I know, real
it's
people.
Just,
yeah.
But that's the other thing. You have to go out and meet people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of why I like the atmosphere of a bar, and I miss being able to day drink. Is I met good old boys, and they'd sit there and be like, "You little liberal," and I'd be like, "Well, you know, at least I made you laugh."
Oh, dude, we should have you on with Jazz McKay. That would be awesome. What do you think of that, Adley?
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
With Jazz McKay. Because we're like, who do we know that's a liberal? Because Jazz McKay is such a conservative. And just see you guys go back and forth. I don't know.
But I'm like moderate. It's like he'll sit there and be like, "What do you think about guns?" And I'd be like, "Just know how to use them."
I know he was trying to do that to me. He was trying to do that to me last week.
If you're sitting there being like, "Yeah, I should bring it into a school," you're using a gun wrong. That's not what a gun's for. A gun is to assert machismo over Bambi because you have something from Call of Duty with a laser reticle, and you got a John Wick the Wilderness to feel like you have a penis. That's what you're using the gun for.
I heard this comedian. I wish I knew his name, but he is this Mexican comedian.
You can just feel Pittsburgh's grasp just letting go.
Dude, that's weird you think like that in Kern County. In Bakersfield.
I heard this Mexican comedian. He goes like this. He said, "Yeah, I own a gun. It's not because I believe in guns. It's because I didn't want to take 9 years of karate." Dude, that was the funniest joke I ever heard in my life, dude. I was like, that is so funny.
That's pretty good.
I know. I was like, man, like, but it's that, like, that's really why you own a gun. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, I ain't trying to fight you. Just please leave me alone. I don't want to fight.
Okay. Remember how?
Oh no. Do both of you guys freeze again? Oh, both of you guys froze again right when we're getting to the gun control topic. Man, I wish Jazz McKay was here to get in on this gun control topic with us. Maybe I'm just a bad juju magnet for internet and television stuff this week. Although Sherilyn did pretty decent. Oh, maybe Sherilyn's signal for this hockey. No, man, I'm still here talking to everybody, telling them about Jazz McKay and Boydston getting into conversation about gun control. How dope would that be, dude?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, we got to get these two on the podcast together. I think it's California, man. I think you guys have too much heat, and that heat's affecting your internet over there.
Yeah, it's Boydston now.
Yeah, of course. You and Boydston froze right at the same time. Boydston was right about to make his point. He was like, "Let me tell you, this is exactly what it is," and then he froze, and I was like, "Oh no." What's that?
What is going on? I can't even get on StreamYard now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I feel like it's California.
I wonder if it is. Let me see. Oh man, that was getting really good.
That was getting really good. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Boydston was letting it fly, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, I like getting controversial guests on here, don't you?
I think, no, there's a couple guests I'm thinking of right now, too. I think that we could throw in the the mix too. This is kind of fun.
Dude, controversial guests are the funnest because they just tell you how it is, dude. And you don't have to like prod them or nothing. You just give a little bit of push, and then they're like, "Bah!" You're like, "Word up, bro. Tell me about it."
Dude, we got to check with Boydston on his time too. I don't know if he's doing a show tonight.
Yeah, he said he's doing a show tonight. I was trying to close the show tonight.
Okay. See if I can come back in because we got to do the Troy Aikman.
I don't know if we're gonna do the Troy Aikman, dude. You guys have been both gone from the internet for a while.
Oh my gosh.
The internet's still watching me too.
Dude, I can't even get on StreamYard.
How come?
It just says can't reach this page. StreamYard.com's DNS address cannot be found.
Oh, I wonder if StreamYard's the problem with everybody.
Oh no, it just popped up. You're not connected. How am I not connected? I'm hardwired in.
Oh man, Adley's having a hard time, you guys. He can't get on the internet. This is like you're watching a radio show with me and Adley, and I'm sitting in my shoe store. Hello, folks. This is Mike, the friendly shoe store owner, and I'm telling you a radio program tonight with DJ Adley from Groove 99.3. This is his new talk radio show. DJ Adley, what were you saying?
I was gonna do some shout outs real quick.
Dude, I don't have the shout outs on my thing. Hold on, let me see. Here, I'll give us some shout outs, guys. I close out all my stuff so I don't see the comments. Here's the comments. Here we go. All right. So, Rick, what's up? Nice. Rick says Matrix, bingo. I don't know what these comments mean. Joe Moreno says bromance. Word. Fix it, boss. I know. I agree with you, Rick. He needs to fix it, boss. I'm going to hide these comments now. Those are my shout outs to everybody in the comment section. This poor podcast, folks, I think it's StreamYard's fault. What do you think, Adley?
I don't know because I can't even get on StreamYard. But now it's saying, I think maybe it's Spectrum. What the heck, Spectrum?
I think you probably both have Spectrum, huh? Is my guess.
Maybe, yeah, because I'm totally out. Let's see if my phone is on. Wait, now my phone says I'm on now. Okay. Oh man, what is going on?
Why don't you go on your phone and go on StreamYard?
Let me see if I can do that because this is driving me nuts.
It is driving me nuts. That's all right. We're true professionals, folks. Once again, I'm sitting here talking with DJ Adley from Groove 99.3. Very interesting guest. You ever wonder what it's like talking to a celebrity? Well, I talk to this celebrity right here 2 times a week. I've known this celebrity for almost 30 years, folks. Yes, a young Adley and a young Mike, then called Sketch, were making their way through their youth in Tucson, Arizona. Adley, do you ever miss being young in Tucson, Arizona?
Tucson was a lot of fun. I like Tucson.
Would you call those the best years of your life?
You know what? It was a great experience. But now with the family, with the kid, with a pretty solid career over here, it was a fun time. I'll definitely say that.
It seems like a weird time that would never happen again, huh? Like it was the 1990s. We were at University of Arizona. There was no internet yet. We went to college with a dude called Old Dave. He was only 30, but to us, that meant he was like 90. Remember Old Dave, dude? Old Dave was 30, bro. And we treated that man like he had his AARP card.
Oh, here we go. Maybe I'm back in.
Oh, look at that. I'm seeing somebody coming back in. I've been doing the best version. It's Boydston. Hold on, I got him. Hold on a sec. What's your internet provider, Adley?
I'm Spectrum.
Boydston, are you Spectrum?
I am Spectrum.
Dude, I think it's Spectrum. I think
and they're on the crap end of it.
I'm talking with Boydston now, Adley. I'm hanging up. Yeah, dude, you guys both have Spectrum. Now,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and both of you froze at the exact same time. And you were right about to make a point, and I can't remember what it was, Boydston.
No, I was gonna say I'm happy to play devil's advocate about guns, just like I would anything else. I I'm very objective when I make fun of everything. I try to see both sides and make fun of them, right? So whenever it came to guns for me, I was like, okay, you want guns, but you don't want like people to take tests, regardless of if they look like.
I know it's not good. It's not good. We need to figure out what we're doing with this gun thing, man.
No, yeah, like people who don't want that, I think they're just bad test takers, you know?
Dude,
Like
I saw on 30 Rock. I remember I was watching that TV show on Third Rock from the Sun, and there were aliens and they were getting their driver's license. They're like, man, if it takes this long to get a driver's license, it must be real hard to get a gun. Everybody's laughing.
I mean, that's my whole feeling, though. I didn't watch it. But my whole feeling is that like you could drive a car and you can like endanger people's lives, and then this thing is like straight up danger at all times. That's why they put a safety on it. and you don't want to sit there and be like, oh yeah, maybe we make them take extra tests for this, like maybe we do this. And my whole thing is, okay, fine, you don't want to do it, you don't think we should have more tests. Let's say that there was a school field trip, right? And your kid and all of their friends are on this school field trip, and then everybody gets sick or injured and they can't drive the bus, right? They can't. They don't have the class of license to man that vehicle, right? But there is one, and it's Sawyer, and he eats tofu like you eat meat. And do you want his vegan weakened knees turning that whole wheel? Just being like, I don't know how to turn it. Why is it swinging wide?
Why are we picking this guy to drive the bus? He's the one to get shot or something?
And what's the difference? Both have been endangering kids.
Yeah.
So whatever, like just agree to it. Just sit there and be like, hey, I believe that guns should exist, but also I think you should know how to use them.
I think
fair.
I think there needs to be some sort of like, I don't know, man. I go back and forth with guns because I'm like, I probably should have known a gun. And then sometimes like, I need a gun.
Like,
I'm
that's
exactly
what the
same.
news wants you to think, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, because the riots were real close to our house. I think I told you this last night. Didn't I tell you the story?
Yeah.
About Antifa?
Yeah, on Tuesday, right?
Yeah. So like at that point, I was glad I had a gun. But then in real life, I remember one time this dude, he came to my shop and he was popping off, and I was like, bro, you got to leave the shop. So he was like, what? Make me? And I was like, all right. But we're in this suburb that my shop's in, and I think he thought I was from that suburb. So he's trying to test me. And I'm like, oh no, son, I'm not from here. So we're gonna leave now. So we're walking out, and when he gets out of the shop, he's like, now come out here, P word, come out here. And I was like, wow, you're out of my shop. I did what I came. And when I came back in, I looked over and I was like, man, I don't know if I was impolite with that guy. And I looked over at the people sitting in my shop, but they were clearly bigots. And I was like, I'm not going to ask them because they'll be like, yep, you did the right thing. And so I was like, all right. So I'm thinking about this for a second. And then the two of them go, he pulled his shirt up on you, right? And I was like, he did? And they were like, yeah, but I was so mad that I wasn't paying attention. But then I realized, I'm like, if I would have had a gun at that point, I would have probably just pointed it at him and been like, get out of my shop, blah, blah, blah. And then there would have been a real problem because he had a gun,
Yeah.
So like, I just don't think I'm supposed to have a gun sometimes. But then other times I'm like, man, I would really like to have a gun, and like a big gun too, like a gun that I could just like, oh, there's a whole bunch of them coming. Don't worry. Bah, 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 bah.
And oh, don't get me wrong. I fired a gun. They're a lot of fun. Not wild about the pointing it at a human part. I'm not.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like,
that's not who I want to use it against. But I feel like some people are just like, yeah.
No, I think they're lying to themselves.
No, try and come in.
No, I think they're lying to themselves. I don't think they could do it because here's the thing. So like, I have a family. You know what I mean? So then it's like, oh man, I can't not protect my family. You know what I mean? But I even told my son, I'm like, look, man, we're going down to the fruit cellar. And in the East Coast, you have these cellars that are real small where you can hide. And I'm like, and if somebody pokes their head in the cellar door, Daddy's gonna have to shoot him. Now, Daddy doesn't want to have to shoot him, but that's the way it's gonna have to go down. Do we understand each other? And he was like, okay. And I didn't want any of that to happen. Like, none of it was like, come on, bring it on. It was more of, hey, look, if you want to steal all the stuff in my house, feel free to do so. But if you think we're going to be human slaves or something crazy like that, you've come into the wrong house. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I had the gun. That's the only reason why I had it. Okay, now that being said, it's like, if it's a, like zombie apocalypse scenario or whatever scenario where these people have these doomsday bunkers, I don't want one of those. Because it's like, well, you can fit 10 people. It's like, why? Who am I going to pick? Everybody's going to be like, can I please bring my wife? Can I please bring my mom? You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to say? No. You have to look out the window and watch them die.
You're going to be like, does she make spicy mac and cheese?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see a use for her.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so like, I'd rather just die with everybody else if there's some sort of weird nuclear holocaust. However, if there's a riot and it's like, hey, man, look, if you want to steal stuff, I don't want you to, but it's not that important to me. But these people behind me, unfortunately, you're not going to touch them. And I know I'm going to be messed up in the brain for the rest of my life. I know I'm going to have mental trauma. I know no therapist is going to help me forget this, but I got to protect my family. You know what I mean? And I don't think people put that through their head where it's like, I think you don't get that there's going to be immense mental trauma if you shoot somebody
and kill somebody. Yeah. You're not going to forget that. You're not going to forget that. But how are you doing on time, Boydston?
Yeah, Boydston, we got to get you to the comedy show.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I can hang out for like probably 5 more minutes.
Okay, we'll do one news story. Is that fair, Boydston?
Sure.
Okay, Adley.
I've already got it lined up.
Give him his choice. Give him his choice.
You want the choices?
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the choice. We talked about this last week a little bit, but there's more to it. 50 Cent trolling his son, Marquise, over child support, and his son is 26 years old.
This is a great story because he has 25 years old.
Yeah.
And he's getting like $80,000 a year or something like that.
Wait, say that again? What was it?
50 Cent's son is getting mad at him because he's not getting enough child support. He's 25 and he's getting like 80,000 a year or something crazy like that. So that's the first story. What's the next story, Adley?
There's
That's
the
more than I
Kanye West
make in a year.
I know.
A lot of us, yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you were shot out of your dad at one point, and now you just get that. Like,
all right, wait. We got other stories, boys. Hold on.
I want to talk about this one. No, I don't even care about the other ones now.
Dude, this has happened 3 times. The last 3 guests picked the first story and we're like, no,
so
that's
good.
it. That's it. Remember,
no, now I'm mad. I'm angered right now.
DJ Jess, the mixaholic, we had a taco story. He's like, tacos. Like, you're wasting your breath. Yeah. All right, come on, let's get into this 50 Cent. Let's do it.
All right, so 50 Cent, we filled you in a little bit on the previous drama. So 50 Cent trolls his own son, Marquise, after Marquise was complaining, man, $6,700 a month is not enough child support. I can't believe it. And it's like, you're 25 years old. So 50 Cent, he's far from finished ridiculing his estranged son, Marquise, over the recent child support comments. Now, today is Marquise's 26th birthday, and 50 shared a video on Instagram elaborately trolling his eldest son in response to his complaint that his father's $6,700 a month child support payments weren't enough to keep him afloat in New York City. Now, the clip is a minute long, and it shows 50 watching TV in the tub in Germany, and on the screen is breaking news. 50 turns the TV off in disgust and says, quote, "This ends crazy. You're 25 years old. Why are you still talking about child support?" But the trolling doesn't end there. Later in the video, 50 Cent answers a knock at his hotel room door and is greeted by Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda. These are guys from G Unit. And they said, and the guys say, I don't ask you for S, man, but I was thinking, could an N get a little extra $6,700 a month? Of course, 50 replies with, "You N's play too much," of course, while laughing. So the question is, this is your oldest son, 26 years old, and I feel like 50 doesn't hold back on anybody. And then
Okay.
it's funny to see him just go off.
Oh,
even
dude,
on
he
his
is so
own son.
horrible.
On his own
He's
son.
the worst. You never want to be on that guy's bad side.
Now Boydston. So when you've got a dad that's 50 Cent, super rich, makes tons of money, when are you supposed to be cut off from his bank account?
When you're 30 and you're a substitute teacher that's couch crashing whenever you're driving up and down the West Coast, chasing your dreams, having some crazy stuff happen. You record multiple comedy albums, and then you come back, and he says, "You have to pay for the truck now." So you're like, damn it, I got to go back to school so I can be a teacher full time. And you're better for it because you have the values to sit there and be like, yeah, I've been living off of a gravy train. I've been very fortunate to have someone love me this much.
$6,700 a month, dude. Are you kidding me?
But that's not what mine was. Mine was like, yeah, you could take an extra bag of Costco raviolis this time. Like
that doesn't count.
That's how the pay it forward for
No, that
Boydston
doesn't
was.
count.
But my dad worked for Exxon, and he gave me a gas card, and
Oh, that's sweet.
that was insane.
Company
That
was
is
paying for
sweet.
that though, right?
No, it is, and like it never really dawned on me like how crazy that was. One fun thing about me was when that got banned, I was so sheltered. Yes, and I'll call myself out on this. I was such an innocent cherub of a baby that just I was a baby in a space station. I didn't understand the world around me at all. and I was using the gas card, and then I remember looking at the gas pump and just being like, "Wait, it's per gallon?" So if I had a fan that was from a blue collar steel city like Pittsburgh, they disappeared.
Oh man, I'm still thinking about that gas car. How dope would have that been? When we were
Right
young,
now
we
it'd
used
be
to always
great.
ask each other, like, okay, where would you want to have all you could eat card? Subway, blah blah blah. We'd always ask each other that.
Yeah, my
Gas
dad,
card, great.
my dad
I know.
worked his butt off, got a back surgery, had to lose a bunch of weight for it, got his hips replaced, and he did that so his son could not admit that his dreams are ever dying.
That's
and
not
he,
that.
and now he has a Hyundai Tucson because at least he's fuel efficient now that he knows it's per gallon.
That's not that bad, dude. DJ Drask, he made his mom buy him 1,200 turntables, and she was a migrant worker, dude. I was like, come on,
EVP. That was
Drask.
EVP.
Oh, was that EVP?
EVP. Yeah.
Dude, he didn't even care. He was like, yep, she was working in the field. I'm like, bro, you're making her, you're buying you techniques, dude. How much were those back then? Like 1,200
For a pair, yeah. $500-600
his full
each.
setup that he was telling us was probably like 2 G's in like 1988. And his migrant working mother was paying for it. I'm like, I cannot imagine she was even getting minimum wage. She was like, well, she loved me. I'm like, all right. But we're talking about this 50 Cent fella and his son. Dude, first off,
I love that you called him this 50 Cent fella.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're talking about this guy. You may like he had like a song a long time. Into Club.
This Into Club fella.
You remember Candy Shop?
But
50.
he's not the guy to mess with. That's the thing. So we did a story one time on the beef that he had with Ja Rule. Do you remember that, Boydston?
Yes.
Back in
they
did
there's
a thing.
so many beefs like back in the day.
So listen to this. So he was with Dre, and they were going on that tour, and so the tour was these big giant arenas, and they made this deal with every arena where they're like, look, if you want us to play in this arena, that's fine, but Ja Rule can't play here for 5 years. And they just destroyed his career. That's how petty this dude is.
Just cut him off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, that's great.
My favorite thing is like the only thing I remember about 50 Cent, because I guess I don't care anymore, but is he got shot 9 times.
I know, man.
That
Yeah.
And so I would also be trolling my son if he didn't understand that. You know, my dad should just go on my Facebook and be like, "Oh yeah, you think that's funny?" And then just
Oh
every
yeah.
day. Oh wait, he does that. That's called having a dad. Like whatever, dude. Like 7,600.
That's
I'm
a lot of
living within.
money.
Insane
I'm living
money.
within my means. Okay, you can't get the gold leaf in your frappuccino anymore. Ugh.
Yeah.
You're
Do you think
really
that's what he's
roughing
doing?
it.
You think he's not? You think he wants to live a baller lifestyle and he's mad because he's getting middle class money?
God, like I mean, yeah, he doesn't know any other thing, right? Like that's what he has, and that's how he lives. Like I remember like even in Taft, I was so sheltered at points where I didn't know how rough my friends had it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then like I was hanging out with them because their parents did a good job of hiding it from them, and they hid it from us in our friend group. And then they'd sit there and tell us like stories, and I was like, man, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have like
Made fun of your
you. I
shoes.
wouldn't have pantsed you in PE right in front of your crush. Like I wouldn't have done that.
Oh, yeah. If
Dude,
it
that's
makes you
crazy.
feel any better, Boydson,
You'll
Adley lived with
you'll
me
catch
for.
charges doing that now.
Yeah, no, you can't do none of
Yeah,
that.
can't do it now. Can't do it now.
Adley lived with me for 3 years, and all the time I would just yell at him because he was from Orange County. I say, "Sis, he's from Orange County. Don't understand this type of stuff. I work hard. Bye, 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 bye. I get it. I get it. You dropped out of high school. Stop telling me blah blah blah."
Boydston's agent's texting him right now.
No, it's just I gotta make sure that like I'm not overstaying my welcome because I told Dan to sign me up at a certain point.
No,
and
no.
Yeah.
If you're going,
Where are you
to-
at tonight, real quick?
Yeah.
Too.
I'm just at the Well Comedy Club
Okay.
here in Bakersfield. Dan Bett's place.
plug
and
all
I'm-
your
I'm
What
gigs
gonna
time's
be
real
your
quick
set?
before you leave.
Huh? What's up?
What time's your set? And tell us your other spots too.
Oh yeah, I mean, my set is, I mean, it's open mic, so
Okay.
it depends on when it started. Which sometimes open mics like comedy starts like 10 to 15 minutes after it's advertised, and that matches up perfectly with
wedding.
Bakersfield. No, it
Yeah.
matches up perfectly with Bakersfield. Oh yeah, got caught in traffic, but we made it to the open bar reception. Like, come on, like, yeah, you got here after the first two went. Okay, cool.
After the vows, but made it for the free food. Okay.
Bro, if
Yeah.
you're going to a Bakersfield wedding, I bet you there's a lot of Catholic weddings in Bakersfield, and Catholic weddings take forever. Especially
Forever.
Mexican Catholic weddings. They take forever, bro.
'Cause you got to do
So
English and Spanish.
If I don't show up till the end of it and pretend like I got stuck in traffic, you got to forgive me, but I'm still gonna eat that food, bro. You can't be mad at me.
Dude, my generation has taken weddings and just like turned it into like birthday party themes. It's just like, yeah, we did Star Wars and we all got our like lightsabers. You're like, that's so much cooler than someone talking about a god you don't believe in. Like,
You know what? You know
I'm
what I
joking,
think?
by the way. That's see, devil's advocate. It just comes
Oh, it
out. Like,
doesn't matter.
you have fun.
You know
have
what I
fun.
don't get is the toast. They always like, haven't we already learned that that's a bad idea from years of this? Like they always give two idiots microphones. They shouldn't have
Oh, well, yeah.
microphones.
Drunks.
That have been drinking. Yeah. And it's like, you're not a DJ, you're not a comedian, you're not a television broadcaster, you're not interesting. People don't like to listen to you. I'm not being mean, but I'm being honest. Nobody likes to listen to you in real life, man.
One of my favorite moments was I did a toast. But the whole thing is these people, like, they're my friends in college and they're still in college and they got married, right? And they're like making a living, like right out of that, they found true love and everything's working out. And every single person is mentioning babies, like right out of the gate, and some of them are hinting at it, right? They're just like, oh, and teehee, can't wait for grandchildren, like that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, I remember grabbing that microphone and just like, talking about how great they are, like how awesome they've been to me, a moment where they helped me out. whenever I was in dark times. And I said, and by the way, you guys enjoy sex as long as you want to until you want to lose sleep. Okay, that's what you can do. And then everybody laughed, like all the people who were like, "Wow!" And my friend looked at me and he's like, "You've got balls, dude! Like you just stepped into enemy territory and just gave a declaration of victory." Like,
Nice.
I
But
told
you're not
him,
lying. You're not
Plug
lying.
your gigs, Boydston. Where can folks
yeah.
come to see you?
Yeah, I mean, like the Well Comedy Club always. You know, I do the open mics and all that stuff, and then I do Tumblr also. The Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, how many people listen from Bakersfield? Like a good portion?
A fair amount, because
Couple
Adelaide's
100,000.
famous there.
Yeah, I mean,
Adelaide's
not
famous
anymore.
there.
I've said too much. But no. But we'll be at the Well November 4th. I am recording a headlining set, and I'm hoping to do something special with it. You know, so, and this is the first time I've ever headlined in Bakersfield aside from the tour. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And then what else do I got? I'm gonna be opening for my hero, Kyle Kinane. He's from Chicago. He's one of the funniest comedians that's ever out there. Also, like after I told you the whole story, right? Like where I told the story and then my friend said, say it on stage. Like literally about 3 months later, I saw Kyle Kinane on Comedy Central, and he was like my beacon. He was like my guiding light to be like, yeah, you can do this. You can do that type of thing. But now I'm like worried because I'm like way too much like him. You know what I mean? But he's a fantastic guy. Also, I want to plug Kyle Kinane because he does not get the rep he deserves. He is a hilarious comic. Go to YouTube, listen to the album Trampoline in a Ditch. It is free. It is him, and he is hilarious. So please, like, do that. Have a drink while you're doing it. What
other comics should we know about? Because, like, obviously we know about all the big ones, but like, who should we know about that's not, you know?
Do you mean like
underrated
local guys, or do you mean like anybody?
Just anybody that's not, you know what I'm talking about? That's not Rogan. That's not Chappelle. That's not Bill Burr. That's not, Brian Callen. You know what I mean? Like, who's
still
not
funny as heck.
name, but still fun. That's funny.
Ron Lynch, who is on Bob's Burgers. I saw him this last weekend at the Comedy Club. He does like a crazy like experience. You know, it's not even a set; it's an experience watching him. It was insane to see. I've never seen comedy done that way. But that's like one that's like really fresh off my mind. I would also say Mike Lawrence is super hilarious. He's somebody that I really love. Mike Lawrence is one of those dudes who he's just straight up nerd, and he has like some hilarious stuff to say. Like his jokes just take crazy misdirects. And then it also say Chris Porter. If you don't know who Chris Porter is, you've just never enjoyed like angry, ranty comedy that has really good points, because he is fantastic.
How about
are you a fan of Bert Kreischer?
Bert Kreischer?
Bert Kreischer, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Bert Chrysler, I think people call him. Like all the people do different things, right? Yeah, I'm a fan of him. I think he's great. I love the machine bit. It's iconic, right?
Yeah. He has to do it at every show. He can't not do it. That sucks. That would suck, dude.
Play Freebird.
Exactly.
I'm moving on. No, you're not.
That would suck.
I paid $50 to be here,
What about ethnic comics? Do you know any ethnic comics that we might not be familiar with, like Mexican comics or black comedians?
Mexican comics. Saul Trujillo. He is a door guy down at the Comedy Store. He is an absolute hilarious human being. Also from Bakersfield, Bruce Gray. I gotta sing my praises to him. I saw him recently. He is a Bakersfield boy who is now a Comedy Store door guy, and he's got some big things cooking. He was telling me about when I saw him over at the Well, and I'm so proud of my boy. I don't talk to him all the time, but I'm always rooting for Bruce because he's just a hilarious dude. And I just remember I've seen that guy get a beer bottle thrown at him.
Oh man.
Jeez.
or sorry, I didn't see it. I heard it, and then I ran downstairs because I was listening to a set upstairs, and it was echoing up. So I was like, okay, I can hang out, get some fresh air. And then all of a sudden, I heard, "You mother!" And then, and I was like, "Oh man, Bruce is killing in there!" Like, you gotta
Oh
go.
man.
You don't get Wild West Saloon vibes usually, like that was a lot of fun to see. So
That's nuts. Well, I think DJs and comedians are very similar in like you have to work out and you have to start from nothing, but I think comedians have a way harder toil, and DJs, I think as hard as it is to make it as a DJ, it's still way easier to make it as a DJ than a comic, I think. I really think that.
I'll tell you how I knew that I didn't know what I was doing in my life. Whenever I was at my other job as a substitute teacher, and the kids were on their Chromebooks, they were doing like a career search, and some kid just like, he's so excited, he's on there, and he just goes, "Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna be a comedian." And I just walk over him like a Grim Reaper of Dreams, like a Dementor from Harry Potter, and just being like, "Oh, do you, young man?"
You killed his dreams.
No, he was just sitting there, and he goes, "Yeah, man, they make like 160,000 a year," and I could not keep character. I laughed out loud. And he says, "Well, what do you think that?" And then I just kind of like told him all these different things. I was like, "Well, you got to work it out. You got to start like somewhere where you're not getting paid. And then eventually like you're paying more for gas to just get exposure and stuff like this. And you're working down the line." And I'm just getting into my life story basically with this kid without telling him that I do comedy. And then at the end of it, I could just see the hope like fade.
He's all like, "Man, you're just a teacher. What do you know?"
Yeah. And I said, "Absolutely nothing." And he's like, "But you know what? Screw it. I'm going to be a cop." Like,
woo! Saved another one. Saved another one from a life of misery. You know what? And the thing, I'll say this though, Adlai, when we finally like were on the radio and like had clubs and stuff like that, I still wasn't satisfied. I wasn't like, "Oh, now I'm happy." I was like, I'm not satisfied.
Well, we were like that kid. We're like, man, once we get on radio, we'll start getting club gigs. They'll be flying us out to Miami. We'll be making tons of money.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Well, because people would tell us about it.
Job? Why do I got a side job?
People would tell us. Remember, they'd be like, "Oh, I just got flown up to San Francisco to sign a contract," and we're like, "What? There's contracts involved here?" Yeah. I'm negotiating with my agent. You have an agent? Like, remember that? Like, it was like people like that's how it was, dude. And so like, I guess you're right. We were like that little kid. We thought we were going to be Howard Stern.
Whenever I meet a comic that has an agent nowadays, I'm just like, "Oh, cool. Do you pay him like half of your sandwich and beer?" Like, Bro, hey, I really sprung for you. I got a second McChicken this time. There you go. Bone apple tea.
Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah, like I just to do the quick promos and stuff. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Funny Boydston. You can follow me on Instagram, which is at the Funny Boydston or the Funny Boydston. If you're a jerk, and then Andrew Boydston on Facebook. You can look me up for my albums for free. Do not pay for them; they are free. Someone hacked my PayPal account in China, and they do not deserve money that I was getting. It's
crazy.
It's a spite thing at this point. And andrewboydston.bandcamp.com. You can listen to my 2 albums, Barstool Prophet and More Coal for the Shame Train. You can catch me headlining for the first time in Bakersfield, my own backyard, at the Well Comedy Club, the only comedy club in Bakersfield. And I will be, that's November 4th. And you can get tickets now on Eventbrite. You can also get tickets to see me open for my hero, Kyle Kinane, and he is an absolute showstopper. That would be December 1st, and I'm on 2 shows so that night, and I'm real honored about that. And more importantly, thank you guys so much for having me to sit here and have this fun conversation, because I love doing this type of stuff. And
Did you have fun?
Yeah, dude, it's absolutely
Okay,
like a nice
good.
break. You know, like I mean, I can't say the F word, so that was kind of sad.
Yeah,
because
no,
that's all I want to do when I get out of the
Save that for
classroom
school
the day.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
save
it.
that for school.
So some kids or somebody was like, do you ever write referrals? And I was like, yeah, but not what you think. Like, I was like, you remember how we used to say the F word and it'd be like a really big serious thing? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, nah. It like every time I walk on that campus, it sounds like an Xbox Live lobby.
Oh my God. Like,
after they just lost a match of Call of Duty, you know, just F this, F that. And like I remember seeing a substitute teacher like go to be like, hey, and like as they did that, I just grabbed their arm and I put it down.
Let it
Said,
go.
it's not your fight.
Let it go.
It's not your fight. Also, everybody gets 3. Okay, everybody gets 3, and then you write the referral.
3 F words?
Yeah.
3 F-bombs.
You're not required to work clean to go to school. All right?
I don't remember if I could say the F word or not say the F word in high school. I feel like everybody said the F word, but I don't know if we said it in class.
Just hanging out before class at recess all the time, but
we had a smoking section at my high school.
We did. I remember that.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my freshman was that was like right before I got there. My freshman year, they made it so they didn't have a smoking section, but you could leave campus whenever you felt like it.
I remember
so
that.
you could go off campus for lunch. You're 14 years old. Like, all right, see you later. I'm gonna go drinking.
I'm catching a ride with the seniors. I remember that.
Could you imagine that today?
Yeah, you
all right,
can't
boys,
leave
well, I'm
campus.
glad you had a great time, man. Everybody else, follow us on the Chino Brothers podcast on Facebook, and then Chino Brothers podcast on YouTube, TikTok. We just got banned until tomorrow, but don't worry, we'll be back. But our backup account, we got some videos up. We promise we'll get banned again. We like to say a bunch of bad stuff. F words.
Thanks,
right,
Boydston, for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Boydston, seriously, thank you so much for coming on. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
You guys are absolute beauties, and it was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Right on. Hang up for 2 seconds in the green room real quick.
Yeah.